Alright guys, what is going on? We are live here on youtube.com/DanielGuys412. Welcome to my review for All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. The second ever episode of AEW airing live from Boston, Massachusetts on October the 9th. And I have to say, second week into this show, I thought this was a lot better than week one. I thought AEW really, set up a lot on this show. Kept my interest throughout the entire show. Didn't insult my intelligence like other companies might have done this week. I'm not going to name names. But I got what I wanted to out of this show, which was an enjoyable 2 hours of wrestling. From start to finish. Was it a perfect show? No, it was not. But if you give me a good to average to great show every week, I'll be satisfied. And that's what this episode did here. I thought we kicked things off here. And let's talk about the opener here. In the first round match for the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. And we had the Young Bucks taking on Private Party. And we had a shocking upset here in which Private Party got the win here with a roll-up win. I thought this was an excellent match to kick off this show. I thought these teams gelled so well against one another. And, I think AEW's strengths, one of its strengths, really does lie with the tag team division. I mean, you just look at the teams here that they have. Private Party, who are new to me. I'm still learning about these guys and, what they're all about. Of course, the Young Bucks, Lucha Bros, Jurassic Express, easily my hands-down favorite to win this tournament. SCU, the Best Friends. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on here. So, Private Party pick up the win here in, like I said, what was... if you want to see balls to the walls, high-octane tag team action, and this is the match for you. Like I said, both teams busted out a bunch of crazy moves here, whether it was, the double super kicks, the power bomb onto the, the stage, the ramp area, tope suicidas from Private Party, the Young Bucks here, hitting, I think it was 3 Northern Lights suplexes, and then they did a double Northern Lights suplex on the Private Party. That was another great spot in this match. Like I said, this was just a great way to kick off AEW. You kick the show off, ground running, hot tag team match. And from here, sky's the limit. I thought, right move to have Private Party get the win here. I like how it was a roll-up. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was like, oh, okay. They're advancing to the next round. Because I feel like the Young Bucks, you know what? They're an established team. But this is really a huge win for a team, an up-and-coming team here. Like Private Party. So all in all, I thought a great way to kick off this show. We then continue with Le Champion, Chris Jericho, leading his new faction, which is dubbed the Inner Circle. Of course, we have the returning Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, who's the muscle of the group, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. They come to the ring, and I love this promo from Chris Jericho. This was awesome. This was unscripted. This was Jericho going off the cuff. Just cutting that promo, just the way that he can get the feel for the crowd. And he was talking about, why he teamed up with all, 4 of these guys here. And, this is the first time Jericho has ever led a faction. Keep that in mind. He has never led a faction to date. So this is something new for Jericho. I think the idea is great. The Inner Circle name, that'll take some getting used to. But, you know what? I like these group of guys together. I think they can be that, dominant heel, unstoppable force that, presents a good challenge here for the babyfaces to go over in the long run. The crowd was chanting, "We the People," with Jake Hager being out there. And Chris Jericho said, "That's bad creative, and that's dead and gone." So some shots were fired over at WWE. I just got a big smile on my face when Jericho said that, because it's funny. The crowd cheered for that. And an interesting point was made. Then he made some digs at Dusty and Dustin. You're saying he doesn't like Cody. You don't like your family at all. So that was smart on Jericho, playing with the crowd here. Realizing, they just popped for that. But I'm going to get them to boo me by the end of this promo. And Jericho's a master. He's one of the best on the mic. And when you can allow wrestlers to just go out there and speak from the heart and give them bullet points, be like, look, this is what we want you to get out of this. This is what we want to accomplish by the end of this promo. But it's up to you. We trust you as the company to go out there. And you can tell Jericho was just having so much fun. Love this promo. And at the end, he said he's going to beat the shit out of Cody at Full Gear, because we do have a pay-per-view coming up in 1 month's time. It'll be AEW Full Gear, and you can bet I will be watching that show November the 9th. We already have 2 matches announced for that card. We'll have Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega, and of course, Chris Jericho versus Cody Rhodes for the AEW World Championship. And then after this, speaking of World Championship, we had a number 1 contenders match. I'd say a decent match here between Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin. Not to my surprise here, Darby Allin picked up the win here, hit the coffin drop, picked up the win here over Jimmy Havoc. Really dominated, large portions of this match here. But I'm happy that Darby Allin won. I think he'll face Chris Jericho next week. He's now the number 1 contender here. And yeah, I mean, it was a decent match. Like I said, nothing really too much to write home about, but it served a purpose. It set up for a number 1 contendership, and I like how most of these matches on this show, the show had really good flow too. I like how they hooked you with the tag team match. Then you had the Jericho promo. Then you kind of cooled down a little bit with this number 1 contenders match. You had the women's match on there. Things picked back up heading into the main event. So I thought the show did a really good job keeping my interest, my investment, my enjoyment over all 2 hours. I really felt like it flew by. Did not drag in the least sense. One thing that I could note, though, is I need a little bit more promos, a little bit more vignettes, for who these guys are, establish what their characters are, what their goals are, who is a Darby Allin, because I don't really know too much about him. Would like to get to know him, but you need to do a better job of relaying that to the viewing audience. So that's just something I think going forward AEW needs to keep in mind. We then have women's action here on this show. We had Bea Priestley and Ima Sakura versus Britt Baker and Rio, the AEW Women's Champion. A decent women's match here. They're obviously teasing a feud here between Bea Priestley and Britt Baker. And in this match here, Britt connected with a rolling net breaker and locked in Ima to the rings of Saturn and applied the mandible claw to make Ima tap out. So Britt Baker and Rio here get a nice win. Obviously, Britt Baker being kept strong here. As I said on Twitter, it's only a matter of time before she will be a future AEW Women's Champion. She's from my hometown of Pittsburgh, so I got to show some love for the hometown girl. But I thought it was a decent match here. And obviously, like I said, they're teasing a feud between Britt and Bea, so that should be something to keep an eye on here. We then had Jon Moxley versus Shawn Spears with the legend Tully Blanchard in Shawn Spears' corner here. It was great seeing Moxley here in action here on AEW Dynamite for the first time. Obviously building momentum. This was a showcase for Moxley and his eventual clash with Kenny Omega here. I love the physicality from Jon Moxley and how he just thrives beating the shit out of people. And I like his new ring gear. Not used to him wearing the singlet yet, but it'll take something, or not the singlet, the wrestling trunks and boots, but it'll take some getting used to. But Moxley kicked Shawn Spears and hit the paradigm shift for the win. I did like how Shawn mocked him with the perfect 10 pose towards the end of this match here. And then we did have Pac on commentary. Pac, excuse me. I don't want to piss him off, the little bastard. But Pac was on commentary here talking about the fact of, why am I not vying for the AEW Championship? I'm 2-0. I like the fact that Pac's 2-0 because Pac's fucking awesome. He's so talented. It's only a matter of time before he'll be vying for the AEW Championship. So I really liked about this show. Wins and losses do matter, and they do make a difference in the long run. And Kenny Omega came to the stage. He had a barbed wire bat and a broom. Dared Moxley, come on up here, you son of a bitch. Come on. You know you want to go. Let's do this right here, right now. Before they can even continue, so Omega tosses the barbed wire bat to him. I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. Moxley and Omega, they are going to beat the shit out of each other, and I'm going to love it. It didn't happen here. Pac blindsided Omega with to the head with a chair. And Moxley's like, oh man, what are you doing here? And Moxley tosses the bat away and leaves. So they're teasing a Pac versus Omega match. I think that would be absolutely outstanding. Boy, I couldn't even imagine what type of match those two could have. So that potentially the next feud here for Kenny Omega after we move on from Full Gear, once his feud with Moxley concludes, we shall see. Then it's main event, guys. Time for the main event. Dustin Rhodes and Hangman Page teaming up to take on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. A good match here. But Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara here were able to find a way to pick up the win here. Referee was distracted towards the end of the match as Dustin went to hit a spinning power slam. As the ref is still distracted by Sammy Guevara, who pulled the ref's shirt. Jack Hager runs in. And Jake. It'll take some getting used to saying that. He runs in, tackles Dustin. Jericho connects Judas Effect on Dustin for the win afterwards. All hell begins to break loose here on AEW Dynamite. We have the Inner Circle. They're coming over. Ortiz and Santana rush out. Lights go out. Cody appears in the middle of the ring, but soon he's getting ganged up on and attacked by Jericho and company. MJF runs out with a chair. They have a standoff, and they were thinking, what is MJF? He's not going to turn here, is he? No, he's going to help his best friend, Cody Rhodes. See, he would never, ever stab his best friend in the back. Oh, it will happen, but it's not happening here. It's not happening tonight on AEW Dynamite. And yes, that did rhyme. But they clear house. Jericho's able to eventually hit the code breaker. Bucks run out for the save. Darby Allin rides his skateboard down and tackles Jericho. Hits him over the back with it. Heels retreat. Faces stand tall. And Jericho screams that next week would serve as Darby's funeral bitch. So that was week 2 of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. Like I said, I thought it was a better effort than their first week. I liked the first week, but I thought like this week had a little bit more polished wrestling. I thought the matches, everything flowed, everything served a purpose. It's just so nice to have an alternative to the crap on Mondays and the crap on Fridays, which I am taking a break from. You want to do Blood Money, you want to do Crown Jewel, you want to do a referee waving off a Hell in a Cell match, no contest, fine, you can do that. But you know what? I ain't watching. I got NXT. I got AEW. That's plenty of weekly wrestling for me to watch. So I'd like to get an NXT review up here if I can in the near future. I'll try and get those going along with the AEW reviews. I'm still working on getting things going live here. Once I get that situation resolved here, we'll let you guys know about that. But yeah, for the second week of AEW, like I said, I really liked the Young Bucks versus Private Party. I thought it was an excellent opening tag team match. Really helped put Private Party on the map. Love the Jericho promo. And then the ending here with the Chaos. And you throw in a little bit of stuff with the number 1 contenders match. That was good. The women, they had a nice showcase. Jon Moxley doing his thing there with his intensity and hyping up his match with Kenny Omega. I thought everything really served a purpose. They teased matches down the line. Of course, we've got Darby Allin versus Chris Jericho next week. And we have the Lucha Bros versus SCU in the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I cannot wait for next Wednesday to be here already. Wednesday night is the best night for wrestling fans. So my grade for this episode of AEW Dynamite, I would give it I was going back and forth. I'm going to go with an A-. I really thought this was a strong show, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, next week's show from Philadelphia. So that does it, guys, for my AEW Dynamite review. I want to say thank you all for watching this video here on youtube.com/DanielGeyser412. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DanielGeyser412 and Facebook.com/DanielGeyser1994. Links can be found down below in the description box.